Whether you realize it or not, you're a business.
Before we get started, let's take 5 minutes to get our breathing right, get ourselves into that energy, and we're going to get into allowing and understanding the flow. Understanding what the flow is. So let's take a deep breath. Take a deep breath into a 4 count. Hold it in for 7, let it out for 8. Take another deep breath in. We're going to take a deep breath in. We're going to take a deep breath in for 4 seconds. We're going to hold it for 7. And then we're going to release through 8. So let's take that deep breath in. Learning the flow. Learning the flow. Divine rise, blessed be to your day. May it be everything you require to create everything that you desire. We've all, if you haven't heard about with Bruce Lee was always like, be like water, be like water, be like water, be like water. The key to becoming the flow, the key to becoming in that space to where you're moving in those you can move in the most choppiest of waters. The key is to address your flow. How do you start your day in adjusting your flow? I've talked about it many times before. Today is the second day, day 3 actually. Got started on Monday. Today is the third day that I'm doing my meditation. Before I go to my meditation, as soon as I wake up, 5 o'clock, as soon as I'm out of the bed, 5 o'clock, roll over, 15 minutes of a meditation, get my breath right, get my breathing in order, and then followed by 30 push-ups. Then I get ready for the gym. Today was core, real hot. Today was core, and then continue my day. It took me a while to adjust to such a flow because for some of us, we're used to as I've talked about in this week's podcast episode, and we're going to get into on Friday, I was used to avoiding based on the old conduct. A lot of us stay in that old code of conduct for ourselves that we've been getting throughout the week, where we try to adjust our new environment or our new self to our old conduct, to the old way that we used to flow. As I said this before, that affects your consistency. That's going to affect your flow crazy because you may be flowing through your day like water. But what are you carrying through your day? That is going to be the key. You may be flowing through your day like water. It may be choppy waters. But what are you pulling up? Or what are you pulling up into? What are you pulling up through that rush of wave in your day? Remember, if I start my day out of tune of thought, if I start myself undisciplined in my day, then my day will naturally find a pocket of undisciplined. That means, simple question when people always be like, hey, what about, did you really have a bad day, or did you allow your emotions to be undisciplined for 20 minutes? Did you really have a bad day, or did you allow your emotions to be undisciplined for a good 20 minutes? Ask yourself the real question. Are you, when it comes to your account, when it comes to your emotional account, that reflects everything that you do. One thing, because as my pops was the Harlem kid, I always thought about doubling up. I always thought about my energy and adjusting my flow and coming into my flow with my energy. I thought about if I did not have double of it, or if I didn't have my abundance or my adjustment to my abundance is in that physical reflection of my flow. So one of the simplest things is if you don't have $100 until you got $200. You don't have $200 until you have $400. You don't have $400 until you have $800, and it just doubles and it doubles and it doubles. A lot of times we spend our day in the flow. We spend our day in the flow of our old self, and we do not have enough energy. We don't have enough energy to make it through our day. And then we use the external narratives. Oh, it's because I'm getting older, or oh, it's because of this, or it's because of this. If I had this, this, and this, and we never seem to have enough time. But as I always say with everything, you are time. Therefore, you are time. Therefore, you are your budget. You are the budget of your time. You got used to, because I got used to that shit a long time ago, that mindset of like, I remember being in that mindset like, I thought it was an adult thing to do, or the grown thing to do, that I could wake up when I wanted to. I could wake up at 12. Have my day going. It's because in correspondence to the anchoring, in reality, I still had lack mindset. I had residue of lack mindset. I had residue of the BS that I didn't pull that mask off. I still had these aspects within me. That's why I was still acting the same way. No matter what I would change externally, my shit would still be the same way. I would always go back to the original narrative. Because your connection, as I dropped on the TikTok video, your connections are reflective of your standards. That means as your standards change, your connections change. Your connections that were once based on your old standard of yourself, your old standard of you existing, reflects in your connections. So those connections now become attachments. Because we've talked about it before. Your connections are based on enhancing, based on growth, based on you being in the most uncomfortable position, and it's always based upon you learning some shit. Your attachments in that flow, your flow of attachments, they're always based on reaction. That means you'll always have a reason to react. I remember sitting, as I just went to, you don't have 200, you have 400, you have 400, so you have 800, you have 800, so you have 1,600, and we go on and on and on and on. This is the uncontrollable factor that once you are ready, once you are prepared, when you're ready, you ain't never got to get ready. When you're ready, you never have to get ready. You never have to put yourself in a position that you're like, oh my God, well, this happened and now I got to do this and we didn't understand this and this didn't get done or this. You're going to fill your space up with thoughts, and it's up to you, as I've talked about before, in honoring that thought. It's up to you to honor that thought. So the first thought that you have, how are you honoring it? It's all based on that basis of how you started your day. Did you start your day based in escape mode? Did you start your day based in escape mode? Did you start your day based on the nostalgia? How did you start your day? How do you start in your day? No one is responsible for your day. No one is accountable for your day. No one is accountable for your day. No one's responsible for your day. Your job's not responsible to give you a place to live. Your job's not responsible to give you a place to stay. You don't live at your job. This is you going into that space. It reflects you. Everything outside of you to maximize your potential, you'll be able to maximize your potential once you're ready. Because you're in that flow. The last thing that So it comes into this space right here, this thought process. When I'm changing my standard, that means how I wake up, how I move, everything that I do. When I'm adjusting my standard to my core of myself, that means I got to adjust my core. When I'm changing my standard, when I'm coming into that new space with myself, I can now see things as my clarity comes into play. And then I'm sitting there like, you know what? This no longer serves a purpose. That's weekend. That no longer serves a purpose. That's Friday stuff. Okay, cool. But I'm not looking at it because a lot of us get stuck in these attachments of our old self, how we used to do our day, based on the inner child being still injured. I talked about it in the podcast where a lot of us keep ourselves, we're in a certain space where you remember Rugrats whenever like Chucky and Tommy grew up and they got jobs and they were still using the same old aspects of, wait, what do you mean I can't play? What do you mean I can't do this? You're in a different level now. You're going to understand that now you're coming into a space where you're going to be seeing a lot of imbalances. It's because you're not adjusting to the flow. You're trying to adjust the flow to you because you've been used to everything matching your frequency. You got used to everything matching your way of thinking. You got used to everything being in that space, moving at your timeline. You got used to it. And you got so used to it that you thought it was normal. So when something comes in and lets you know that it's not normal, that can be normal to you, but have you addressed it to the core? How does it match your core? Your standard matches. Your standard is a reflection. Your standard is reflected in your connections. Your standard, your influence is reflected in your flow of your day. Your influence, that internal aspect, your influences, what influences you internally from the internal influence reflects into your standard, reflects into your connections. Assess your day. Don't wait till something comes up to tell you to assess your day. You should be assessing your day daily. You always have the time. It's up to you to bring yourself into that sacrifice for the budget. It's up to you to bring it into order. It's up to you to bring that into balance. It's up to you to bring it into balance. It's up to you to bring it into order. I can't sit in my old space of myself and wonder why things aren't going according to the plan that I now have in front of me if I'm not doing what I need to do in the current state. I cannot be in the old set of plans of myself and expect that what I'm doing now to work. You cannot be in that old mindset of what happened then and your life was this but it was so much easier. It's because it doesn't compute for me. Like for me and myself is like the things that I'm doing now that I'm 27 forever, even though I just turned 35, in that mindset is like I'm doing more things in a more fluent and efficient way than I did when I was like 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. My energy's in that space. My energy's more like the 16 to 19. My mindset, my inspiration, this is all in that inner child healing because once you heal the inner child, you unlock that energy, that emotional energy, that emotional discharge that you've been running off of. Once you come into this space once you address that inner child, then you can come into that inner adolescence. Your inner adolescence is the learning. Your inner adolescence is the absorbing. Your inner adolescence is the applying. And then when you come into this adult stage, and you heal the adult aspects, because once you heal the past, you heal the present, and you set up for the future, that's how you're going to create. You're going to create based on your standard. Your creations, your connections will only be as in depth to you understanding and setting your standard, setting yourself up for success, setting that new code of conduct, bringing yourself into that space, which leads me into, so what are you avoiding? Tonight, Change the God Hour show, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight, we're getting into, so what are you avoiding? Live readings. It's going to be a party. It's a whole vibe. I'll see you then. Other than that, if you are interested in services from readings, consultations, and everything else, inbox or hit me at alchemistllc.com. I love you. In order to win the day, you got to understand the night before. We love us. Ashe. Grand rising. Divine rise, blessed be to your day. May it be everything you require to create everything you desire.